Good afternoon. My name is Brenda, and I have a little project I'm going to be working on today, and I'm going to share it with you. This won't take too long. I am recreating some of my do-it-yourself cut and sews so that they're a wall hanging with 3 pockets, 2 or 3 pockets. They're going to be coming on a fat quarter, as they usually do, and this is like the main part of it, which looks kind of like a little cottage or something. And then we'll have 3 pockets here with designs on that we will put on there. And this one here has a little saying on there. It says craft room, inspire, create, and imagine. Not all of them will have that words on it. Some of them are going to be different. Some are going to be embroidery projects, or you could paint it. So it'll have a little scene or little characters where you embroider whatever colors you want to use. I have a couple that I'll show you real quick. Here's one of them that I finished. And they're little hedgehogs. And then this one I made into a little bag. It's a little Velcro top bag. And there's another one of the hedgehogs. Anyway, so this one won't have the embroidery one on, but I'm just doing the basics to put on my blog so that beginner sewers or intermediate can kind of see how I did it. And I really leave this pretty open. I want you to redesign and figure out unique things that you can do. On this one that I'm doing today, I just showed you the front, but I'm going to use some of my older fabric, just some scraps that I had. So this is going to be the back, and I just have a little thing here for the top. And when I'm, excuse me, just a moment. I had an interruption there. Anyway, for the top, I had to cut a little extra. It really doesn't matter. This is going to be the part that's against the wall. I just wanted to stabilize my fabric a little bit. So let me go ahead and put this on and hem it all the way around, and then I'll show you the next step. Okay, I've already went and sewed around the sides, and I trimmed that up. A good reminder too is that because this is on one fat quarter, the seam allowance is really small that I printed on there. But when you cut it out, if you have room, and it looks like I did on the way I designed it, to cut outside of that black dotted line that I printed for a cutting line. You can cut a little bit bigger, and I suggest you do that. And that's what I did here. You can see I have a little bit of white here, and if I did it by the cutting line, you wouldn't have seen any of that. You would be taking in some of this green here. But this is the top part that I've already did, and I made the top with a flat up here so that when you turn it inside out, it's not so hard. It'll be real simple to turn that out. And I just wiggle this fabric around. I kind of twist it between my fingers until that little point comes together nice. You do it on these little edges too, and I went all the way around, leaving the bottom open for the final thing. But this is how the front looks. Lots of room to put our pockets there. And underneath, this is the back, of course. It is kind of a cute little lavender design with a little black horse on it and a little carriage, I think is what I put on that one. Anyway, I'm going to fold this in. You know how you do that is you just take the ends, fold it under, you take another on the other side, and just kind of fold it over between your fingers, and you're going to roll it till that all goes in. And you can see, and then press that, and then you'll sew just top stitch right across the bottom. So that's what I'll do next. I'm thinking about even doing some top stitching around these edges and down, and maybe even, I could, if you wanted to, you could do like a quilt stitching all the way and make it a little puffy. I mean, you could even put like a little bit of a real lightweight batting inside if you wanted to look more like a quilt kind of a look, or do some scroll fancy stitches down the side. Fancy stitches across the top with a different colored thread would look really nice also. Anyway, I'll do this bottom part, and we'll get on to the steps of doing the pockets, and I'll go ahead and tell you what I'm going to do with those right now. And I take each pocket. This is the front of the pocket, and obviously you need the place where you're going to put things in and out, and you don't want that raw edge, so you're going to hem that. I'm just going to hem that. I rolled that under. I'm going to give it a little zigzag stitch, And then what you'll do is after you do that, then go around and hem the, iron where the hem will go on the other 3 sides. So the sides and the bottom you will hem. You're not going to sew it yet though. You're just going to iron it. So that when it's all ironed under there, then we're going to come back in and we will put these, place these all where you want it and pin it down. And then you will sew up the other 3 sides. So first though, you've got to sew that top before you can apply it. And sew the top before you iron the hem on the other 3 sides. So that's what I'm going to do next, and then we'll come back and show you the final results. Okay, for the final, a couple things to go over too before you start your project. Make sure that you decide how you're going to hang it. For me, I did not put like a fob here or little loops on the sides. It would need to have like a loop on both sides and up here if you're going to like need something like that to attach to your walls. I'm just pinning mine on to a corkboard. So I'm just going to put the little pins through those 3 areas. So I didn't make any fobs or any loops or anything. But I did get all of the pockets on, and of course each pocket is whatever you want it to be. You could have little reminders, your list of things you need at the craft store or whatever that is. I do want to mention that this is the unfinished, this was my prototype, so the cats and the little plants are not in the scenes, and they will be on the one that you buy on Spoonflower. But this is how it turned out. And I did this little backing just because I wanted it a little more thicker. And I went all the way around each pocket on the 3 sides. You can see that I went and did it real good around the sides. You may want it on your little corners. You can clip those just a little bit so you don't have so much bulk on the corners. You can see those examples on YouTube on how to do your corners. Do a miter quarter or just fold it over. If you're newer to sewing, as long as you have the basic skills down that you've already learned all of those, you can make one of these real easy in just a couple hours. The cotton, I've just used cotton. You can buy it on other things like linen or denim. The denim would be really nice. It's going to require a little thicker, and you'll have to make adjustments for that. The only thing that I do suggest is do not cut on the dotted line that I have on the pattern. I would cut out another 1/4 of an inch from that, and I'll see if I can change it on the pattern and correct that this week, because you do have enough, but I mean you're just going to have to make like 1/8 of an inch turn under on if you cut it on the dotted lines. So cut yourself a little extra width there for folding under and sewing. Otherwise, it's a really quick project. It was a lot of fun for me to create these, and like I said, I've got some coming with the little critters and little animals, and it'd make a great gift item. You could even make these so that they fold up to hold jewelry in or something, like if you did it like this, and then you had a Velcro that came down, you would have like a little pouch that you could travel with to put jewelry and things in. It's just got multiple uses. It'd be great for craft shows. It'll make a little extra money. And this year, we all need to make a little extra money. I'm retired, but I have to do my art. I don't have to do, I love to do art, but at least I do make a little bit to supplement my Social Security check. And I appreciate all of you watching. I pray that you have a great day and enjoy sewing. Don't make it make it a labor of love where you just take time to enjoy it. If you're getting frustrated, just walk away and go do something else, have a cup of tea, and take time to just relax, because sewing and embroidery are works that can just be enjoyed, and it kind of helps you soothe your nerves if you're having anxiety from like the news or the way things are going. Just be positive. That's how I approach it every day. I have my little routine, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks again for watching.